So, with so much division, what do you think brings about unity?
Less division.
And how do we find that?
It's part of life. I was thinking about this yesterday. My husband and I locked into a normal marital spat. You each have different opinions. You're not supposed to agree. So you find common ground. You do. You find common ground. And your marriage and your family will be your most vulnerable relationships. They can be very, very difficult. So you want to find loving ways of resolution. There's so much division right now because of several things, I think, and none of it's new. None of it is. There are people who are learning to have a voice and speak out. You see it on television, on media, you hear it. So there's more access to other people's opinions. But we can't come to center fully until both sides have been heard. That is very important. So I think what is happening now is more is being heard from either side. But there's a lot of complaining and whining and finger pointing. But that's what we do. That's the projection from humanity. I guarantee you things are actually going to get better. We've got a wild ride for a couple years. So what? You'll look back in history and go, it was just 2 years. If you think of the difference in history, say, oh, this happened to somebody in 1415, then 1417, something else happened. We think, well, that wasn't that long. But if we are living it and we are in a presence with it, with emotional impact, with mental impact, with the consequences of behavior seen in the physical world, that can be a very long time. So, the best way to resolve a conflict is to resolve it first within yourself. We are born ready to fight. It's the cave bear coming into the cave. You're born with that reptilian brain and limbic system primed for action, for reaction. That's not going to change. Part of humanity. Now, as humanity evolves, I would theorize that will lessen. Why? Because the two things that squish us, I jokingly say, emotions and gravity, those things will be conquered. If you can conquer gravity of force, we'll be leaving the earth more. We'll have more flying this, more flying that. We'll be lighter. Think about this. When kids are happy, what do? Jump up and down. Trampolines are wonderful. The rebounder is a great exercise. You're jumping up and down. You are leaving the gravitational field. It's joyful. It's happy. So we have to find ways to practice of rewiring our neural anatomy. We touched on this a little last week. I'm not a doctor or a counselor or a teacher. But what I am finding about that from my own diagnosing myself and hearing what comes out of my mouth sometimes, I realized there were things from my childhood that affected me and that I took in that were no one's fault. Other people were just living their life, but it affected me. So I have to go back and retrieve my emotional impact from those things. For example, somebody might say, why do I always react when my kid goes to school? I get very worried and upset. Well, that's your personal little drama that might have happened, probably something in your childhood. I don't know. Maybe not. I might be overreaching. So we have to be able to identify, not all at once, but individual pieces of garbage that need to go, that need to be thrown out. The best way to resolve conflict is to resolve it first within yourself. Just because someone's screaming at you, you don't have to scream back. You can become calmer. You can retain eye contact. You can walk away. You can calm within yourself. But guess what that takes? Practice. We're not born knowing how to do that. So as one matures, gains higher emotional IQ, the EQ, we do that by controlling aberrant actions and things that are negative, taking out the garbage when it needs to be taken out. Otherwise, it will pile up in our mind. We get sick, we get upset, we get depressed, we get all these different emotional things. That's not the only reason those things happen, but it can easily exacerbate a building condition or something that is lying latent. Latent genes can be turned on by things. There's a whole science behind it, and I would suggest people you do your own research. That's always what Zilliard suggests. Do your own research. Maybe if you can identify two behaviors that you do that are repetitive, that just drive you nuts. I've got them. We got plenty of them. I got more than two, but I'll start with two. So be kind to yourself and realize that you're dealing with a very powerful reptilian brain that's telling you to run away from fire, run away from the cave bear, run away from anything that could be dangerous. So, does that make sense?
It does, because we seem to not want to fix it within ourselves first, and we get caught up in those fears and think that they're actual real things to be scared of right now.